Hello, hello. I am here with my whole food vegan milkshake, and it is delicious. I made this with 5 apples or 6 apples from the garden and a cup of oats, just dried oats, a real large cup of water, another real large cup of almond milk, and 2 bananas. Tastes fantastic. Mm. It's delicious, absolutely amazing. It tastes creamy, really, really creamy, and it's really fulfilling and very satisfying and very sweet. Just very sweet and very creamy and very healthy at the same time and very wholesome. And it's just really good for you. It cleans out your system, it cleans out your arteries. There was a guy on Facebook that came to my page, messaged me, a gardener guy with an orange vest. I believe that's the guy, John Doe. Because after that conversation on Facebook, John Doe treated me real badly. John Doe came to my Facebook page, didn't say he's John Doe, had a different name there. I assume that's him. I just energetically feel it. And he showed me a photo of himself, like he didn't even try to show himself or to make himself look better or comb his hair or take a shower first or, put some nice clothes on at least, or have a smile on his face. No, he took a photo of him. It looked like he was actually fapping. He looked like he was like, he didn't show it, but it looked like it, like kind of like from this perspective, but more like this even. And with his arms straight down like this, and he looked like this here. So it's like, is that supposed to appeal to a woman? I don't know. If you showed a real photo of you, like a photo like this here, could also be like this, but at least put some nice clothes on, comb your hair, wash yourself, and just make a friendly face, like make a friendly photo, like, hey friend, thanks for accepting the friend invite, so some kind of introduction, and not sexual, not in any way provocative, not in any way those kind of things, please, no. No private parts. I don't need to see anymore, I've seen so many now I can't count it anymore. So that's really the epitome, but also this guy, like, showing himself like this, dirty from gardening, or I don't know, he's a street worker. That's what, I don't know. Dirty from the street, The garden is not dirty. When you work in the garden, the garden material is clean, Sometimes I have that on my fingers. This is dark brown kaolin clay from the garden because I work with this all the time. And so that's clean, but to show yourself completely sweaty and greasy and like with street dust and stuff like this, and yeah, it's just not very appealing. But anyway, the first thing he said, how did he word himself? He said, "Now show me your pics." It's like, uh, excuse me, do I look like some kind of slut or something? I certainly don't. And so I showed him a photo of my artwork. He probably took that as an insult because some of those figurines, they do look a little bit like him. I didn't mean this deliberately. This is just synchronicity. This is cosmic synchronicity. But anyway, John Doe was not nice to me at all after that. He called me tranny, and he called me boy, and he ignored me also in a real mean way, when I was super friendly. And anyway, in that Facebook conversation, and so the next thing he says, he has real severe heart problems. I said, oh, I'm extremely sorry, I feel compassion. I feel compassion for everyone who suffers with anything. So I told him I wrote a whole book on holistic healing. I really know what I'm talking about. I've been dealing with this for over 30 years. Just because I don't have that trophy MD certificate hanging on the wall. That doesn't mean that it doesn't mean what I'm saying is just clownish, because it isn't. I have really looked into this much more than any MD has ever done. So I told him the first thing, I said, you can buy my book, but you don't have to. I can give you some straight forward advice right now on the spot. If you have heart problems, go whole food vegan and save your heart, literally and metaphorically. Actually, that's actually how it works. So because you don't eat any more animals, you don't eat any more animal produced products, okay, you completely stay away from any of this greasy stuff, that comes from an animal. And you eat that kind of stuff that cleans out your arteries, your heart valves, and all of this, your aorta, and and the heart muscles, they have to work very hard all the time already. You put cement into this, it will stop. You put super hardened cholesterol grease from animals into it, it will eventually stop. Just like a clogged drain pipe. It's the same thing. It's not rocket science, it's just common, uncommon, rational sense. It should be common sense, but it isn't, unfortunately. We've also been brainwashed. What? I'm upstairs making a video. I already told him that I'm making a video. Yes, I'm upstairs making a video. Yes. I don't want to have to talk so scream real loud, and then this goes into my tablet, and I want to talk mildly and peacefully. Not this sudden super loud exchange of hollering. I can't stand it. I'm not going to turn this off now. I already said a bunch of things that are important. If I turn this off now, I'll try this entire thing again. It's just way too much trouble. I'm not going to do it. So anyway, after I told him that he needs to become whole food vegan, he said he has to go. And then I never heard from him again. This is not my heart. I'm trying to save your heart. But I can't save your heart if you're not willing to save your heart. So, literally and metaphorically, I can't force people to become kind and to become kind to themselves and other beings. I can't force them. They can only do this on their own accord. And I think the reason why so many men just cannot become kind and nurturing and loving and gentle and earth friendly and thinking about the future of this planet and be kind to animals and not feed into the destruction cycle and the cycle of suffering. The reason why they cannot get themselves to do it is very simple. I talk to people now for so many years. I see it now. And this is a thing that I talk about this in almost every video. And I will talk about this until the day I die, until it really sinks in. The number one, the predominant reason why men cannot get themselves to do this, in general, most men, particularly the ones that are and anti-educated. Okay? That's like the worst, That's the worst demographics. So they refuse to do this because they equate femininity with it. They equate being a sissy with it because that's what their dad told them, And that's why some of them, I don't even want to say it because then people might actually do it. There are things I don't even want to say. But it is so dumb what I see, Also, when we're driving on the road and I see some trucks and when they have, some of them take the muffler out or put rolling coal into it. It is so retarded. Does this make sense that this is retarded? It's not gonna get those men a woman, okay? Particularly not them PETA chicks that they want so bad. I hear them say, I want them PETA chicks. I want them PETA chicks. Yeah. The vegan, skinny, big boobs naturally because they're full of estrogen. That's because they're full of caring, So that usually gets them very big boobs. And I see a large animal climbing around in that tree. What's going on there? A squirrel, I think. So, yeah, and so they want that. They want the very woman that would never go for them because of the way they behave. And that's what I wanted to address in this video in more detail, because I think it is very, very important to talk about this. I see this on the internet all the time, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. They want them PETA chicks. There is no chance, okay? There is no way a PETA animal rights activist lady, will real pretty, loving, caring, nurturing, would ever risk her life or associate with those kind of redneck gang, brutalo, Muslim, whatever, any of these mafia, any of these men that had been told by their fathers, man up or eat like a man. Do you see how retarded that is? I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. No. You know, you want to let it come to the point like Penn Jillette, where he had to go under the knife and had to have heart surgery done, you know, where you're like hanging by a thread, you know, on life support in the hospital, hanging just by a hair, you know. I mean, I don't know if he's lucky that he survived, but because I don't find existence very lucky by itself. But it was part of his school, you know, so he survived by a hair, and so did Dick Cheney. And Dick Cheney had a couple of revelations in the first week after he survived. But then, you know, it went back to its old corporatist way of thinking. But Penn Jillette, he learned a very valuable lesson. It was like direct karma, you know. Many years ago, he made a real ridiculous anti-PETA commercial where he and that guy Teller, I forgot what his first name is, and where they sat on the table in some fur coats and ate steak. It's like, dude, you know, this is really stupid. So I I don't know. I found it so retarded that I was completely against them. That turned me completely against them. I didn't even want to watch the bullshit series anymore because they are doing more bullshit than any bullshit that's out there. So that's like mega bullshit. It doesn't get any worse. So, but you know, he paid a very high price. It was direct karma, actually. I want to show more of my artwork and less of my greasy face. So, direct karma for Penn Jillette. And then his son, you know, I don't believe it, you know. His son should know his dad almost died. You know, then his son says to his dad, repeating what the dad originally said to the son, "Dad, come, let's go and eat like a man." Dude, your dad almost died, you know, from heart failure. You know, he just barely saved his life, saved his body by going whole food vegan, you know. Yes, Penn Jillette, he was forced to by the circumstances, or he would have died, you know. So, you know, take this as a wake-up call, you know. Take his message as a wake-up call. John Doe or any of the John Does out there. Take that as a wake-up call. I mean, how far do you want to take it? You know, you want to die? You want to, and you want to, while you're doing it, making the world miserable? Well, it's not a good idea. Turn it around, make the world better, and become whole food vegan. And no, it's not going to make you suddenly have your dick fall off or something. Quite the opposite. It will. Oh man, it will. Go vegan and it will stand up straight, okay? There's no need for Viagra, man. Really, no need for it. And a bonus on the side, you're gonna get them PETA chicks. Oh my goodness. Yes, it will happen. Jeez. This is always so backward. It is so backwards in the world. Why is it so backwards? You know, that's my question. Can we maybe inspect that? Look at it a little bit more up close. Why are things so backwards? That's my question. I don't get it. Delicious. So, yeah, and voting for a woman is not gonna have your dick fall off either. That's what they were all so worried about when it came up to Hillary Clinton versus another person. So, yeah. A lot of them are mad that the other person won. But man, if you don't vote for the person you want, then you get the other person. I hope that makes a lot of sense. God. But you know, we got lucky. We got Donald Trump, actually. We got lucky. You got lucky this time, you know. It's not a Dick Cheney. It's not a Rubio. It's not a Santorum. No. And it's certainly not any of the other wimps out there. Okay? So we got lucky. We got a strong angel soul in office. Man, you are lucky. You don't even deserve it. You're so lucky. He saved our asses like many times over. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't know why I have so much energy right now. I, I'm naturally high. Oh, I know why. Oh, it's this here. Dylan Blue, Pour Femme by Donatella Versace. That's the key. That's the key to it. I recommend that to all Italians and all people around the world. I also recommend it to the mafiosis. Yeah, it would be good for you, including the men. They can wear that too, but you know, she also made a version for men. Dylan Blue for men. So, pour homme. So, ombre. Yeah, it's a real sexy perfume. Oh man, that will make you feel so sexy. And then if you drink this here every day and you quit all the animal sludge, man, you will feel so sexy and so empowered. You don't need to cry and whine with your particular MAGTOW or other unempowerment. Together we cry groups. Together we cry and whine. Yeah, this is so ridiculous, man. Man, is this ridiculous, all of this. The stuff that I see in the world. And all this getting even, you know, they want to get even with all the women, the woman getting even with the woman. It's such bullshit. Oh, yeah. You know, let me explain something to you guys. If, you know, I'm saying this particularly to the haters now, or also to the whiners and complainers that are out there. But many of the haters are also whiners and complainers, of course. They whine and complain. They they talk each other into a rage against Tiffany. I've seen this on YouTube. They talk against the Tiffany's in the world and all the redheads, you know, like the redheads, like they're the worst of all. No, statistically, they are not the worst of all. Do some research on this kind of stuff. I haven't seen a redhead cutting a man up into pieces, or torturing anyone. I haven't seen that. So they're pretty decent, peaceful citizens on Earth. So anyway, I'm not a redhead. My natural hair color is dark brown. I'm bleaching my hair. But I have dark brown eyes with dark green. And I may have, I don't know if I do, would be interesting to find out, but I may have some of those pretty fierce people from Armenia in me. So that, but I'm not. I have something fierce. I have a Medusa, but I have a huge heart. Okay, huge, huge, huge heart. And I am infinitely grateful for that. And it's that huge heart that actually that made me make videos, that made me come out of my timidness and shyness in front of cameras and all of this. Because my mother and my grandfather, they had beaten me good psychologically. They had beaten me into that shyness and into that low self-esteem and into this, feeling very, very awkward and shy and insecure in front of any kind of person, or particularly groups, talking in front of groups. It made it easier later on when I was petitioning for the whales, because I became an ambassador for the animals. Then I was speaking for them. It was much easier because I didn't want anything for me. So it's this wanting something for me that makes me particularly awkward. That's also why I cannot read it when a man likes me. I cannot read it. Quite the opposite. I actually, if there's any opportunity for me to misunderstand it in the other direction, I will. So my insecurity will interpret it as, oh, he's not into me. So, and a lot of times it's true also, of course. But it will happen even if he's into me. And then a lot of times I see a man into me, and then that shyness and awkwardness will say to me, oh, he only wants your money. He wants German citizenship. And then I posted that. I said that on Facebook one time. I wrote public round letter. All those men, they just want German citizenship and money. And then a bunch of guys came underneath, wrote underneath, they laughed, and they sent these smiley faces with laughing and the aggressive laughing, I call that. Maybe I busted them, but some of them had sent me some penis photos, so maybe their main objective was something else. I don't know, but I will always interpret things first not in a nice way. That's how it is. Yes. And also in the chat rooms, when I see someone write something flirtatious, I don't feel addressed. Then some other people, I saw some other people talking to each other, and they mentioned me. And then I saw they did address that towards me. But how do I know that they address anything flirtatious towards me if they don't even mention my name? Are they afraid to mention my name? Is it because they want to say something flirtatious because they're in the mood? Or, and at the same time, they're afraid to mention my name because then the other guys could see it and they could laugh about them. Ha ha ha! You like that fat chick. Oh, you like that teenage boy. You know, that's what some of them call me. They're they're real mean. They want to be as mean as possible. So, and then when all of that fails, you know, tranny, teenage boy, dork, ugly, fat, old, when all of that fails, then they say, you will die. That's what's gonna happen then. Yeah. So I've seen all of this. You know, it eats away at them. It's like what I write on the internet is not addressed at anyone in particular. When I speak my mind, when I say my opinion, then this is my opinion. I offer the truth because to me this is truth, you know. I don't see this as just a subjective view, of course, and nobody else does that either. No one thinks that what they're saying is just subjective. You know, everyone thinks what they say is very objective and very general and very true and applicable to the whole world. You know. So everyone comes from his own perspective. So do I, you know, and I offer my views. I'm not forcing them on anyone. What I say isn't there to mock anyone, but some people, they are so paranoid. They've become so paranoid that their egos feel directly addressed and attacked by what I say, and then they need to get even with me. So they don't even realize that what I said is I mean this to educate the public. It's not, and I'm not forcing anyone to do anything or to follow me or whatever. You know. I don't follow anyone. You know, that's actually my message. Don't listen, don't follow anyone blindly. Listen to what they say and investigate what they say. Find out whether this is true, you know. Think this through, what they say. Test it. Find out. Don't just accept what someone says as truth. Or when you listen to talk radio, you know, your particular radio station in your area, you know, first of all, ask the question. What's their agenda? Why are they saying this? Why are they having these people on that show? What are they trying to accomplish with this? Is that is that helpful for the world? Does it make the world a better place? If they talk racist, or if they try to turn people against someone, against a politician, or this or that. Yeah. So is this making the world better? Is there any rational thinking in this, in these so-called think tanks, as they call themselves? I haven't seen that much thinking in rational terms going on in those think tanks. I haven't seen it yet in most of them. So there's something that I can agree with here and there, but Michael Savage has some points that would make the world a better place. Definitely, for sure. But then he talks about other things where he got it completely backwards. So And some liberals have things completely backwards too. Completely ass backwards, as my husband always says. Ass backwards. Yeah. Now, think for yourselves, and don't adhere to this group or that group or MAGTOW or libertarianism or Republican or Democrat or gangs or whatever, or Islam or Louis Farrakhan or Black Panther or neo-Nazis. Think for yourselves. Stay away from ministers and religion and think for yourselves. Make artwork. Make the world better. Together, let's make the world a better place. Come out of your dusty corners. Come out of the dusty way of thinking. And come out of that mental imprisonment. And make artwork instead. And come out of this, I'm saying this particularly now to the haters. Come out of this hiding and the masks and the incognito. You can use a fake name, but I recommend to use your actual first name. Okay, so just in case you meet someone later on, you go, man, my name is actually not Mike. My name is whatever, John. It's like, and then the girl has to rethink her neuronal connections with that name, and she'll feel lied to, so use your actual first name. You that doesn't get that doesn't get the hackers to do something to you. Okay, there's a lot more going on in terms of computer spying than not using one's name. So you can use your first name. You can give yourself an artist last name. That's what I did. And Daisy, Redwood those are my artist names. I have some more artist names: Rhododendron, Dandelion. So those are my artist names because I love plants and nature and animals. So, but Nikki is my real name, and I like that name, Nicola. My mother gave me the name. It's a German female name, and it's nice. And so it comes from Saint Nicolaus. Saint Nicolaus is that's actually Santa Claus, I think. That's what it is. Yeah, Nicolaus. That's where the Claus comes from. Santa Claus. Santa Claus, it means the holy Claus. Claus as a nickname, for Nikolaus. So Nicola is the female version of that in Germany. And it's kind of interesting that she chose that name. She doesn't know why she chose that name, so she didn't think that far as to dig all of that history up. But I know that energetically there's a reason why I have this name, because I'm a giver. I'm a lover and giver. So I like my name. I love my name very much. So my last name I do not like, because that comes from my real trollish and mean grandfather. And I'm not going to tell you what that name is. So, no, I don't like that name. So I discarded that name, and I'm going to rename that eventually also, if I live long enough. I'm gonna rename myself, give myself the last name Redwood with 4 D's in it. Yes, I like that. That's an artistic expression. So, some people ask me if I stutter. Yes, sometimes I do, but that's not that's not why I used 4 D's. Red wood. So now it's actually supposed to resemble a dog with 4 big feet. So use your actual first name, give yourself an artist's last name, and be nice to women. You know, it's my message to the hater boys out there. Some of them are very young, some of them are preteens probably, and they're starting to get the testicular action going little by little, and then they see girls in the chat room and they get excited, but they don't even know what's going on. So just to be on the safe side, they're gonna be mean to them. that's what that's how it works, you know. Let's be mean first, you know. You don't want to risk your life. No, you do not risk your life by being friendly. No, you don't. You have a lot to gain. When you are friendly to anyone, you have a lot to gain from that. You make the world a better place if you are friendly. You can also be friendly to your colleagues, to your peer group, you know, and be friendly to girls, particularly young girls. Be nice to them. They're very vulnerable. Be nice to them. Be nice to the older ladies too, you know. We have feelings too. So let's make the world a better place. Let's be nice to each other, okay? Let's keep this in mind. Okay, guys, take care.